Good morning. Okay, here we are again. Today's quick lesson is going to be about some of the basic strikes again. We're going to be working on the lower end, so some of the kicks, some of what we've been working on in class, okay, both the front kick and the side kick and the roundhouse kick. When I came up through in the more or less early sport karate days, what you're trying to do is put your knee in a chambered, or what we call a tucked or chambered position, and try and go to the same position each and every time. The idea being that if I can kick a front kick from here, I can turn a side kick from here, I can do a round kick from here, I can do a bunch of different kicks, and my opponent, who may quickly read me, doesn't know which kick is coming. It's always chambered in the same place. The second thing about the chamber, or the tuck, okay, I want you to kind of remember this tuck position, is that by pulling it back, you're also pulling yourself back into balance. Too often when people kick, they lunge and fall forward, okay? And again, in other videos we've talked about this, you don't want to put yourself into that off-balance position, okay? You don't want to break your own height barrier. So, the kicks themselves, okay, we always start off with the front kick. I want you to stand with your feet about shoulder width apart, and I know as seniors, this is some of the hardest things to do, okay? Balance, okay? Balance is a key thing. So adjust your feet how you need to, but what you want to try and do is bring everything to the center, hands are up, bring your knee to the center, and tuck for a second, and then touch down. Tuck for a second, and then touch down. Get used to this idea of the balance point. So notice that I didn't bring it up out here, where it's going to draw me off balance. I bring it up into my center. So what I want to try and do is get my knee to my belt line. And if you can't, that's fine, okay? Because your hip tensors and things, you're going to get tired doing some of this. I want you to kind of just bring it up and back. You notice I keep my hand right there. It's kind of a reminder to bring my knee to that particular point. Bring it up, touch, and back. You do your other leg, same thing. Up, and touch, up, and touch, up, and touch. So that's a little drill that you can do in the morning, just from lots of good things that come with that. Keep your back straight, keep your balance, keep your legs bent. Now from the kick standpoint, I want to utilize the wall for a second here, so that I can show you this part of your foot right here. We're going to call this the ball of your foot. Obviously you have your toes and your heel. We want to kind of stay, there's places to use the heel when you're kicking, okay? And there's places to use your toes when you're kicking. But generally, you want to curve your toes back like so that you strike with that ball of the foot area in the front kick, especially when you're barefoot. Now, if you've got a pointy, hard leather shoe on, that's the time to use the toe, okay, in a particular soft area. When you're utilizing a side kick, sometimes I'm going to use that heel to drive into a certain target area. But for right now, I want you to we're focused on the front kick. And so the front kick comes up, you curl your toe, you extend it out, you pull it back in, you touch back down. You bring it up, you extend the kick, you bring it back in, you touch back down. You bring it up, you tuck in, and you put it back down. So what happens is the kick comes up, out, in, and back down. Now notice when I want you to see it from the side, tuck, my back comes behind my leg, pull my body back erect, and I come back to center. So the idea is to snap this thing out and come back to center. Now, when you're snapping your kicks, just like we talked about in other striking, aim at something. Your brain is a targeting computer. Use it, because if it's not engaged, your body doesn't know how far to go. And that's where you get injuries like hyperextended elbows, hyperextended knees, and they're painful. And as seniors, we don't need any more pain. So again, the snap front kick, from the drill standpoint, hands are up to guard. You start off with your right leg, and you're going to look at me and be on the left side, and do mirror imaging in a minute. I'm going to snap that front kick out, look at my target, snap that front kick out, look at my target, snap that front kick out, snap that front kick out, one more set, snap it out, and stab it out. Again, trying to focus on going straight out and straight back. You want to avoid this lifting effect. A lot of people do a kick and they lift their legs. And when you do so, watch my body posture. Sometimes it goes forward, sometimes it goes back. If it goes back and I get pushed, I'm going to get knocked into my can. If I go forward and I miss, okay, or even if I hit, I'm liable to fall forward. So the idea is to be in control, like we've talked about in almost everything that we do. The only thing you can be in control of is you. You want to be in control of this kick if you're going to use it. Always remember, like we've also discussed in class, that kicks are big, powerful tools, but there's also so many more counters against them. All right, so that's the front kick. Now the side kick utilizes a different part of your foot. You're going to go to the wall. The side kick utilizes what we call the knife edge, which is from behind the toes to the heel. So that when I actually kick, this part of my foot is what's making contact. I don't want my toes to make contact in here. You might say, okay, why? Well, again, people have elbows, and these elbows come smashing down on your toes. And if you're in the one in pain, all of a sudden you're not thinking correctly, and he's thinking about you. You don't want him thinking about you. You want him thinking about him. Okay, we want him in pain, not you in pain. So again, from the side kick standpoint, it's going to be a similar type form, and I'm going to use the wall to do it extremely slowly for you. So I would have my hand up to guard, my left hand here. When you're practicing, put your hand on the wall for balance. You're going to tuck your knee up to where you started for the front kick, and then put it back down. So we're going to take your standing foot. What I want you to do is pivot on your standing foot, and again, remember, pivot on the ball. Get out of this idea that you pivot on your heel. I don't want you pivoting on your heel. I want you pivoting on the ball with everything that you do. Okay? Pivot on the ball of your foot. Put your hand on the wall. Tuck your knee up. And notice what happens here. With your foot pivoted, your body just turned. So my knee is actually over here, and my target is still over here. So what happens now is I lift that knee. I'm going to push my hip out, stretch this out, execute my side kick, bring it back in, and put it back down. And for our classes here, I want you doing it low. I want you doing it about knee height. For those who are more athletic, you can bring it up to your waist height. Avoid the high kicks for right now. In fact, from my standpoint, avoid the high kicks forever. I know they're flashy and they're fun, but they're not necessarily effective on the street. Okay? And remember, we're working on both self-defense and the martial arts here. So you can always take this to the next level. The other thing about kicking is for beginners especially, they fall a lot. And as seniors, that's not necessarily our best choice. All right, so again, I'm going to do it from this side. From the drill standpoint, I turn my foot, I put my hand on the wall, I tuck my knee up, and now I'm going to push my hip out. And as I do so, my body is in direct line with my knee and my heel. I bring that back in, and I put it back down. If I'm working with it, my knee comes up, I strike, and knee, and back here. I'm looking here. My knee comes up, I strike, and back here. Notice I didn't have to turn my foot there, and that's only because in this angle I don't have to. But if I'm here and I need to reach somebody, lots of times my foot will pivot when I'm doing so, but that takes time to learn. So I want you to stick with the drill aspect of it for now. So again, I tuck and I kick and I tuck and I back. I tuck and I kick and tuck and I back. Tuck, kick, tuck, touch. Tuck, kick, tuck, touch. Tuck, kick, tuck, touch. Tuck, kick, tuck, touch. So there's your side kicks. Okay? You have front kicks, side kicks. The round kick utilizes the top part of your foot. Okay? Lots of people call it the instep. The instep is actually a little further over. But it's got to be this top part. You try not to hit your toes. Could be your ankle. Now keep in mind, again, if you've got these hard pointy shoes on, those pointy shoes could be the weapon too. But this particular kick is not a straight or linear kick. The side kicks and front kicks are linear. They come straight in. The round kick is a circular kick. So what happens is the knee comes up and then it comes around to your target. So it comes up and around by turning your hip over. We're going to go to the wall to show you distinctly. So what happens is my guard is up, my knee comes up, same place. I rotate my hip, and as I do so, I snap my leg across so it hits the top. But I'm utilizing my hip and my body to get the body weight behind that kick and then put it back down. Okay? When you're doing this at home, what I want you to do is hold onto a wall or a banister, tuck your knee up, point it at your opponent, again 12 o'clock, get it horizontal, extend your foot, bring it back to your butt. Extend your foot, bring it back to your butt. Extend your foot and bring it back to your butt. When you're doing these in a stand-up format, I want you to keep your hands up. So I'll be looking at this target, snapping across, snapping across, snapping across. Look at this target, snapping across, snapping across, snap it across. That's the roundhouse kick. And that's our lesson for today for your first introductory to kicking. See you next time.